Hi guys, Scott here from Outlaw Garage. Today we're catching up with Sasha and Delux Kustoms. This video really caught us off guard because the work that they do there is absolutely fantastic. So take a look at this. So here we are, we're at Delux Kustoms. We've actually come down to see this 1960 356, but we did just get distracted by some of the other cars. We'll have a quick walk around with this. It looks brilliant. So the work you do here, and we'll cover a little bit of it in a moment because it's brilliant. And we'll put a link in the description below for the Instagram page for here because again, just some of the projects that you've worked on paintwork and the jobs that you're doing is cracking. So what kind of condition did this come in when you first got it?
It actually got pulled out of another shop. It was there for like 9 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'd done a substantial amount of work on it, and then there was all bits missing and things like that, so we pretty much reconstructed what we needed to with the car, and then just fine-tuned everything, and yeah, we kind of did a lot of work on it.
So when you got it, the engine was out, like interior was out and things like that? Was it just the shell of the car?
Yeah, and bits and pieces that had been welded, like it already had a new floor and new longitudinals and stuff put in it, but the front was missing on the car. And
oh, okay.
Yeah, like it came with the front, but that was all cut off and things like that.
Okay. Wow. Which now, of course, it's all kind of back together. Try and not bang my head on a hook here in the corner. What colour did you say it was again?
It's Aetna blue. So it's all glazurate, clear over base, and then colour sanded, and it's been splined with these big long blocks to get that sort of perfect reflection from.
Yeah, because you do. I don't know if we'll pick it up on the camera, but the reflection down the side of the car is like a mirror. Like that is, it's beautiful. And then if we look on here. Look at that. This is dramatically different to my 356. And then this. So what stage will you get this to?
Basically, we'll put the bonnet onto it, and we'll get all the panels opening and closing with their catches and hood releases and things like that. We've just got to restore the wiring loom. And then it goes to Porsche because Porsche have done all the mechanical restoration on the car, like the motor, the box, all of the suspension, all of the window regulators, kind of everything mechanical for the car.
And that's Porsche in Melbourne? Melbourne?
Yeah. So I think it's called, it's Porsche Classic, which is a division of Porsche.
Yeah. Now, as I've only been back in Melbourne for a little while, I think they've just recently started that up, haven't they? Their classic.
Yeah, so I think it's like a division of the museum or something like that. Yeah, there's a few guys that have been with Porsche for about 30 years or whatever. So I've been sort of working in conjunction with them and, you know, talking about different finishes and how things were, you know, painted back in the day. You know, things like the suspension and stuff was powder coated by someone else, all that got stripped and done how it was because it's, you know, there was no powder coating and things back then. And
yeah, because the intent is to make this concourse, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's
literally as it came out the factory.
Yeah, full matching numbers car with like matching numbers, panels, gearbox, engine, everything. Like, you know, down to, I didn't even know, but like the threshold plates on the inside, they've got the last 3 digits of the chassis number.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we've just had to research, like the owner wants it how it sort of was. So we've done things like, you know, the 2-tone hinges, which is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different things about, you know, this piece here, is it supposed to be blue, red, black? and we've kind of done our research and emails and things. So as far as we know, this is how the car was originally from the factory. And then I've also got the Bible, I call it, which is the factory workshop manual, which has really helped us with all the different details and how things are and how they looked and colours and things like that.
Yeah, okay. So a burgundy kind of red interior.
It's actually nearly like a bright red. It's, yeah. And then with the blue dash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the inside, like even we've researched how the cars, you know, everybody's got their own opinions and things like that, but we've seen the videos and stuff and like how the car was. Everyone says, oh, they're supposed to be black on the inside. When we pulled all the original sound deadener, it was blue. And what they did was, you know, wherever there was like things coming up through the carpet and stuff like that, that was painted black. So they never masked anything. They would just get the black gun and paint over it.
Yeah, okay.
And then if you watch the video, you see lots of other things, like how they used to sit there with a bucket of black paints with a guy with a paintbrush painting over all the overspray and things like that. This one, we haven't done that. We've done some pretty cool details.
Yeah, well, I guess back in 1960, they sort of would have been built around then. The processes were different, weren't they, I guess. That looks lovely inside there. All the matting down.
Yeah, so it still gets matting in the front, but just because we have to assemble all the dash and things, we don't want to...
yeah, you scratch it, pull it, rip it, like...
Yeah.
There's a pain to be able to then kind of do it all again.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, look, as we're here, look underneath here as well.
Yeah, we have like all the floor and stuff, all the... Basically,
let's try it on the floor a second. Oh yeah.
And we've done killer details, which are very time missing. Have a look at that. See where the stunt guard is?
Yeah.
It's blue there.
Ah.
Around. So when you feel it, it's all smooth.
Ah.
They can do that from the factory. But as we said, it was built in Germany, perfected in Dandenong.
Rolling around on the floor. Yeah, it is. It's a fantastic build.
Yeah.
Just it screams quality.
Yeah.
The camera just won't pick up the quality of the paint, like, and the straightness of the body. That it's not going to pick that up at all. But you can see like the reflections on the side there. It might as well be a mirror.
Yeah.
You know, and the lights bit in here that we're in the paint booth, so the light's really good. It's immaculate. Wow.
Yeah, we've gone to town with all the detail and things, but I think that's what sort of makes a car. And then also, you know, we've done everything, like every hole's been tapped and copper greased and things like that. So I'm into making things last.
Yeah.
You know, we spend the time, you know, every screw you can do up with your fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I find that we don't scratch cars and things, because if it doesn't go in by hand, then there's something wrong. Stop, align it, do whatever you need to do, you know, because it's pretty daunting putting a car like this together. You know, putting all the holes in for the bonnet rubber and stuff, that was my job yesterday, you know, with the screwdriver, just like, oh my god, I hope I don't slip, and you kind of get all flustered, so you have to walk away.
We'll crack the engine bit and have a bit of a look as well, because that looks special in there. But this, like, it'll look fantastic when it's on the road. I'm just going to avoid these hooks as I'm here. But that will absolutely look fantastic rolling down the road.
Oh.
Yeah, we were just talking about the hinges, because the hinges are a pain on a 356.
Yeah.
Like, my hood, like, the amount of time that I fiddled with it, the engine lid isn't too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always the front one, not the rear one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I find that either they've got not enough grease,
yeah,
or then you put too much on it.
I find that there's the little star that spins.
Yeah.
See that there? So So that's got 3 prongs on it.
Yeah.
And you have to pull them apart and file it, and it's like a gun that it needs to be able to spin, and if it doesn't spin, it basically just moves between 2 points and never does a full revolution. And that's what sort of stops it. So we hand filed all of that. I just kind of, because there's no point doing all of this and then the hinges don't work. I always kind of go that
because it's annoying.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, of course it is.
You take it out and you want it to be perfect, don't you?
Yeah. And you just, somebody spent all this money. They want things to work. It's to me, always the most important thing is the passenger side. That the window goes up and down and the glove box opens. Because you have one chance of basically the wife going, go for a drive, and if the door doesn't open or the window doesn't wind down, they go, oh, you've spent all this money and this doesn't even work.
Particularly good points, because I had the same conversation with my wife.
Yeah. So the glove box is the most important bit, that it opens and shuts perfectly. And the left-hand window regulator, the driver he'll cope with anything, but that
And
side,
I've been there recently where my window didn't wind down properly on the passenger side, and then all of a sudden the lock got caught up, so I had to all the time get out of the car and open it for the wife. It's not a good look. So these bolts here, obviously not original, just holding it in place at the moment while everything kind of gets tacked together. What a clean engine, babe. It'll look beautiful with the engine sat in there. There's the hinges we covered before.
Yeah, it was kind of a pity to cover it all, because all in here, all of the lines, I sat there and panel beaded all the indentations and pressings and things like that, but and then we put these mats, and it's like you don't see any of the work.
Cover it all up. But it's done right underneath.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing.
Yeah, we've rust proofed it before we stone guarded it, so if any of the stone guard comes off, it's black underneath that, and all of that. We've sort of done everything we possibly can to, make it last.
Yeah, because I guess you've done all this work. She's ready for a new life.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we keep learning. There's a lot of techniques that we've used for the body through different friends of mine that have come up with different concepts and stuff, because restoration is very different to normal smash repairs. To get all the contours of the body straight, so we use these big long blocks and things like that, and And this is also painted clear over base with glazurate.
Yeah.
The German paint, we thought German paint, which is the best paint, I think.
Reasonable amount of leading on the car?
No, we kind of melted all the lead out of it.
Okay.
I find, everyone's got their own opinions and things like that, but I find with old cars that we've got a Mustang here that we're building, and that was an original paint car. And everywhere that there was the lead joins had crow's feet, and for some reason the paint doesn't like sticking to lead. I know that there's going to be a lot of recourse with what I say, but everyone's got their own opinion, so we basically just melt the lead out and try and fix things without having to lead them. Like if you look at, we're building an XY at the moment, like once you take the lead out, it's like, oh my god, it's like if you put a straight edge across it, it's 10 mil in, so it's 10 mil full of lead. So we take that out and TIG up that panel and things like that.
Yeah, well, we were speaking earlier when my 356 that the lead was out the window. It wasn't a thin skim, it was there's a chunk of lead there to fill a gap up, really.
Yeah, and these cars were all leaded from the factory, all the door gaps and things like that. They used to just melt the lead in there and cut the gap out and file them and stuff like that, which gave them beautiful gaps. But so we just fine-tuned them in the way that we do, and all the wire and everything like that, that's all done.
No, it just screams quality. So before we go, here's the hood. A little bit of dust, but there she is, ready to go back on the car. Great visit, fantastic.
Thanks.
So we're up here just in the coffee shop area just before we go. However, we bumped into a little Vespa in the corner. I think there is a massive scene There's a couple of people I know that actually do like big long drives with Vespas around here. So what year is that, you said?
That's 53.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Completely different to a normal one. I haven't touched this yet. This is how I've got it. I'm going to bare metal it.
So you're telling me that's how it was delivered?
Yeah, the customer gave it to me like this. He did all the body work.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, with all the factory crow's feet and stuff. So off the bare metal it goes, and then we start again.
Wow. And then you're saying...
It's got a factory sidecar.
Factory sidecar.
Yeah. So yeah, this thing's super rare. Super rare. It's got a different headlight to a normal Vespa. Do not lose one off is written on it. So it's going to go back to this colour.
And that is a gorgeous colour.
Yeah, it's almost like the 356 aquamarine green.
Yeah. Aquamarine, or I'm a big fan of the jade as well.
Yeah.
That jade green, but that on that will look amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been talking to a couple of people and they'd had Vespas and they were like, you should get one, we go on long drives. And I'm like, I think they've gone from Melbourne, Geelong and all kinds of places. That's a fair old trek on a Vespa.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done, I reckon, 30 or 40 of them.
Really?
Yeah, we used to do all the work for this guy called the Vespa Wizard. So we do all his body and paint and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of work actually in them. They don't look like it, but because everything.
No, because I guess because of the size, you can kind of think there isn't a lot.
All those lines and stuff, they just take ours. I've got special tools that I've made to panel beat all them, and we TIG up all the holes and refit everything and make sure it works. And these curves here are just a nightmare to get straight because there's no block or anything that you can use, so it's really difficult to get it looking right. But yeah, we've a lot of people come back after they see our jobs and stuff.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, because this, like, if it's anything to go by the work that you've done on the cars, like, if you got a little Vespa, like, I'd imagine you could get
look at my wagon, that was painted 19 years ago. It's covered with dust, but it's still, like...
Little type 3.
It's still mint, the paint doesn't need anything doing on it. I should have had a cover on it.
They're a popular wagon as well nowadays.
Yeah, there's not many good ones around though. This one I've had for probably 25 years at least. I built it, I think 19 years ago. I did a resto on it. It's even got the original interior from my first car. My notchback, and I kind of modified it a bit to fit it into the wagon. There's the old bonnet off that was my first car that I had when I was 16.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but the interior's mint. I bought it off a friend of mine had a place called Volkspower, and I remember walking to work one day and this interior was in a 60s notchback, and it still had all the plastic covers on the seats and the door panels and everything like that. So I bought it from Dean and put it into my old notch, and then I sold it, and then a tree fell on it on the front here, and then I managed to get it back, and then I put it into this thing.
I'm a big fan of these.
Yeah, me too. I could have sold it 100 times, but I'm so glad that I didn't.
Yeah.
They're just a pretty cool car.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Like, nice stance on them. They seem to sit well with these kind of colours, or like a pastel kind of colour.
Well,
that's almost like kind of a pastel-y kind of effect on it.
Well, that's the original colour that this car came out with, birch green. It took me years to find all the rubbers, because you can't buy any of the repro. So I used to work at a place, and every car we'd wreck, I'd pull the rubbers off.
Oh, so you can't get the rubbers for these?
A lot of them you can't. Like, there's a lot of sort of aftermarket ones and stuff, but they're pretty shitty. Like, I remember, the Bailey channels. I unpicked a couple of sets of original ones to get these and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe these days it's changed. I haven't really looked at it, but yeah, it's quite difficult to
maybe.
come by.
I haven't looked recently, but yeah, they're a cool car.
Yeah.
Like I said, you don't see many of them about. I've seen a few for sale, and you know, you can tell there's a lot of rust in them.
Yeah. Well, this one's really good. It's never been in an accident. It really has had no rust repairs. It had a few little bits and pieces here and there, but nothing major. There was no major surgery or anything like that. So that's why I just knew I would never find another one if I got rid of it. And I was always a Type 3 person. I've still got Beetles and things as well, but Type 3s were my predominant thing.
I've seen a lot of people pull in left-hand drive ones as well,
Yeah.
from overseas, because trying to find a decent right-hand drive one here can be a problem.
Yeah.
So that they're shipping them in, which makes a right-hand drive one a little bit more.
I think this is must be one of the first, because it's a 64, so it's a very early one.
Yeah, lovely car. Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed the video. The guys down here at Delux are doing an absolute cracking job. The cars that they've got here are brilliant. We are going to catch up because I think there's a ute that we do want to see with some custom paintwork on the roof, so we definitely want to catch up with that. I think we might also try and catch up with some of the Vespa guys to take a look at the paintwork and the restoration work on those as well, because I think that will be really cool. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.